Number one, shout out to Dezzy Diamond on YouTube. You comment on a lot of my stuff, and your knowledge is definitely valuable and appreciated. So this Ohlins shock, the top out saga continues. Both of the Cane Creek Kitsumas had this top out, sketchy top out feeling, like it's just clunking. It's, for me to describe it, some people are misinterpreting what I'm talking about when I say top out. I'm describing it, if you've got an air shock on the rear of your bike, or even on the front of your bike, and you've serviced it or whatever, or had all the pressure out, had the can off, put it back together, and you pump it up without equalising it, and you bounce on it, and it's clunk, clunk, it hits the top like that. It's exactly what this does. It's exactly the same. Now, I've just had, so Dezzy's been talking about the IFP pressure. He was pretty sure, and there's a couple of other you guys that have kind of mentioned the same thing about IFP pressure creating that top out. So I dug a little deeper, had a suss. I got James at Wheelride to increase the IFP pressure, or check the IFP pressure and increase it. When we attach the pump, he's got a nitrogen charging. They got a full suspension set up at that shop. He put the nitrogen charge in, and you would lose a fair bit of pressure out of that into the line, just like you're attaching a shock pump to a shock. It showed quite low pressure, so that may have something to do with it, but we pumped it up to recommended, which is 175 psi, and it's a completely different shock now. So I've gone from having to run the high speed compression in the second position and the low speed compression 5 out, or 3 to 5 out from closed, and the rebound all the way open to get any rebound good pop off the back of things, to now I'm probably 2 clicks from full slow. Instead of being full fast on the rebound, I'm now 2 clicks from full slow to get a similar feeling. I've gone to the number 1 position on the high speed compression instead of the 2, and I've gone from nearly all the way closed of 18 clicks, so 5 out from 18, 3 to 5 out from 18, to 3 to 5 in from fully open to have a similar feeling. So it's made a huge difference compression and damping wise, so compression and rebound damping wise, huge difference. But it's also all but eliminated that top out. So the top out's still kind of there a little bit if I play around with it, but when I'm boosting around, it's more or less completely gone. It's barely, ever so slightly noticeable, barely noticeable. It's light years better. And that's just a car park test, so I'm just about to hit the trails. I'm just about to head out to Fox Creek, do a heap of laps, and see what it yields, see if I can get a good tune out of it, and see if we can get some good performance out of this, because the first ride felt okay, felt good, felt quite fast and efficient at the setup that I had, which was a compromised setup, I'm learning now. But then the second ride I had, which was a couple of days ago, didn't feel great. It didn't feel great at all. It felt... didn't feel great. So it felt good, but it didn't feel great. So now, we'll see how this feels with the IFP pressure. Or it's not it's not an IFP in here, it's a bladder. Same concept, does the same thing. So the bladder pressure is changed and much better, and let's see how it goes on the trails. Oh, let's get him, eh? Yeah, boy. Alright, so we're back on the Ohlins shock. Let's see how she feels. I got it back in the number 2 position, compression at the back. I got 2 clicks of high speed on the fork. It's nice and warm today. So the compression, the damping oils will be a bit thin. So let's see how she feels. The shop was getting caught up in some bumps on long before, like big time caught in the bumps. That's why I've gone back to number 2 on the high speed compression on the rear. A little bit choppy through there now, but not the worst. Yeah, still getting caught on the hits for sure. Oh, this is a goose. Yeah, it's rough. So maybe I've gone a little high in the in that bladder pressure, because I'm definitely catching bumps big time. So let's back off the high speed on both ends, see what it does. Not there's any bumps left really. It's a shame. Yeah, still got plenty to push against land on at the back, but I'm actually finding that it's I've gone from having quite a low, like nice deep ride height like sag with this spring, the 388, to with more bladder pressure, can't quite get down to that same ride height. So, and that's no preload. So I'll have to spend more time and address it. So you can see from that run, or the whole day, I was kind of struggling to let it go a little bit. So whenever I'd kind of really get off the brakes, and it's mainly the ride height and the chop. It's a little bit choppy. It's definitely on the big hits, big square edge hits, it was just disappearing into the holes and catching every one of those bumps. So up the high speed compression felt better, but it was just choppy and hard in places. So we'll back off the high speed again. So it's got 1, 2 and 3. 3 is like a climbing position, 1 and 2 is a you know, more of a usable range setting. So I'll go back to 1 and I'll ramp up that low speed, because the low speed we're on 5 clicks from full open now. So ooh, yeah, a little X-rated. 5 clicks in from open, whereas before of 18 I was 3 to 5 clicks from close. So, and rebound I'm 2 from full close now, whereas, and as a total of 6 possible clicks, whereas before I was 6 from close, so full open. So the bladder pressure has made a huge difference, massive difference. I'm at 175 psi in the bladder pressure now, with nitrogen. Got a nitrogen charged at the suspension shop, local one. Shout out Jimmy for that, thank you dude, legend. So I guess more time, more data. Yeah, I really couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go because of that ride height, and because of the bumps. So I can't go as fast on this setup as I can on the Marzocchi. On the rougher stuff, I can definitely go fast on the smoother stuff. Twisted Gum, that's fairly smooth. It's got a lot of bumps, but it doesn't have a lot of square edges. So it shined at Twisted, and that was with the poor bladder pressure. It's going to shine more now, but I reckon I'm going to go to 150 on the bladder. And for now, before I do that, tomorrow I'll spend a bit more time playing with this compression. I'll go more low speed compression and leave the high speed in the open, in the number 1 setting. So we'll see. Time will tell.